Good morning, everyone. So I'm a little slower to roll this morning. I've been working on my project, and it's 7 o'clock a.m. here, Eastern Standard Time. I'm just trying to figure out what a good angle for you guys will be. So yeah, it is July the 9th. It's what we call the 9th. On the day that we call Wednesday, in the month that we call July, in the year that we call 2025. And this morning, we're doing a very important reading. So I have quite a few questions that have been asked. I just want to make sure we've got room to see the cards. I think I'm going to bring you down a little bit more. The camera's going to jiggle quite a bit, I think. But I think that'll work good. Pretty good. All right, so let's get started. First off, don't follow any links or emails in the comment section of my channels soliciting you for anything, and that's scammers. And secondly, obviously, as per the usual, the healing intentions are always set for you folks. So if you so choose, just decree that for your highest and greatest good, only and always. Breathe it in, integrate it into the body, and it's as simple as that. I want to thank all of you for sending love and light and healing prayers to my son's girlfriend. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, she's going through a lot right now, so I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. So today we're going to read on the Morgellons, and it's quite a reading, and I hope that I can get it all done in one reading. If not, it might be in two parts because there's quite a few questions. So someone asked me to look into this because they're suffering with it and have been battling this for over 2 years now. And of course, the doctors, act like the people that are battling this are crazy. So no help there, obviously. So this is a really important reading, and I really am praying that we can get some accurate, good information and some clarity today. Let's see what happens, huh? But before I get started doing that, I remember sometime in the last 4 or 5 years, someone sent me a video, and I don't remember who it was. And I don't remember this guy's name, but I want to say it's that guy, Gene Decode. I'm not real familiar with him. I've heard other people talking about him. But I think, if I remember correctly, I think that he battles Morgellons. And if any of you know, please give any information around that in the comment section. Perhaps he has information that would be useful. So if anybody knows of any videos, if he's talking about it, if it is him, or if you guys know who it actually is that I'm thinking of, please give that information in the comment section. And if any of you have any information or have come across any information on people battling Morgellons and how they've been treating it and handling it, if it's useful, like treatments and things, please share that. This sounds absolutely horrible to have to deal with, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that people are struggling with health issues that literally get overlooked. I'm not comparing this to Lyme, but with Lyme disease, it's a bioweapon. It's in your body forever. It's parasites. They're very smart, and they affect every bit of your health. And that doesn't get treated properly either. People get told they're hypochondriacs, and it's horrible that we're having to deal with things like this in this world that we know are being done to us quite deliberately. And then being treated poorly because you're sick and literally getting no help anywhere. This shit has got to stop. It really, really does. So let's get started. We have a whole list of questions here regarding Morgellons. And the first thing I want to do before we get into the questions, I want to give the universe a 7-card spread, and I want them to talk a little bit, their viewpoint on Morgellons, what we call Morgellons here on this earth plane. So I'm sure everybody on this channel has heard of this, but if you haven't, Morgellons is what it is it's these little like fibrous materials. They look like little fibers, and they move. And this woman says they bite and they affect your health. So, just horrible. This is just horrible. Just, I get so frustrated with this type of thing. And, you know, people have found them everywhere. They're in the air, they're in the food. I've seen videos where they've like got it under a microscope and they pull these things out of the food and they do move. I've watched them move on the videos. And they look like little black just fibers. But this woman says they're often triangular in shape. So often triangular in shape, black, look like little fibers, but they bite, and they're found in everything. And for some reason, some people are affected by them and some people aren't. This woman that's asked the question here, she's been fighting them in her head. Her head is infested, and she's been battling this for over 2 years. So just horrible. But yes, please, if any of you guys have any information as far as treatments, or if you've seen any videos that discusses this, if I'm correct, and this is Gene Decode that battles this, if you guys know of any videos where he's talking about how he treats it, please share. Anything that you know, please share. Please share. I appreciate that so much, if you would. So first off, we want to know, I'm asking our Creator, the Most High, you know, the Most High of all in creation, that which created all in creation, which loves all of us in creation. And I'm asking my spiritual team to team up with this person who has asked this question, spiritual team, and any other spiritual teams that have any information, because the people that they're helping and guiding and protecting along the way are also dealing with this. To team up along with our highest selves and bring us the most accurate information that we can possibly get via doing something like this, the cards, right? So, first off, please and thank you, I'm asking for you to give us a little bit of a story, a pathway when it comes to these Morgellons, and just a bit of a story around it to get us started, please and thank you, from the universe's perspective on this. A true story about these Morgellons. Please and thank you. So we're going to do a 7-card spread first, because we want to see that pathway of the Morgellons. Now, I didn't know this, but this is something that she informed me of yesterday in the comments. She said this was actually patented in the early 2000s. So imagine that, right? Not surprising now, is it? All right, so let's get these good and shuffled, you guys. And one more, I think we'll do it. And we'll get them cut. And we'll pull from that middle. And we'll lay out a 7-card spread. Because we want to see the pathway, the magician. Look at the story coming up. Look at the story coming up. These higher arcana cards. Pathway is the water. Interesting. My goodness. I'm just going to say, by looking at this, this is done to us. Look at all of this. Water, water, water. Lots of cups here, you guys. All right, so the universe is telling us, let's start with the pathway. Our pathway, everything here is driven by water. So, you can't, let me go up a little bit more so you can see this a little bit clearer here. So you're not seeing that bottom card very good. Let me tip you down a little bit more. And lower you maybe a little. I can never remember how I have this tripod set up from day to day. I hope that works out okay for you guys. All right, so let's talk about the pathway. The pathway, the energy driving the pathway of these, the story that I've asked from the universe about the Morgellons. That pathway is the Ace of Cups. So they're telling us, this is a water card, okay? So they're telling us it started somehow with the water. So I would say that's how they, well, I'm not going to make assumptions. I was going to say, I would say that's how they put it in there and got it to spread out and about. But this is a water card, so that's the biggest piece of the energy that drove the main pathway. The Ace of Cups is what's driving this pathway. And then above that, we have the sharing and caring card. So with the sharing and caring card, that's cups. And he's sharing something with this little girl, okay? So, and the area around them is kind of falling down. So it makes me curious, and I will ask, because I'm not going to make assumptions, but it makes me curious if this was something that was done deliberately to the water in areas that were like poverty stricken. Because with this card, this is a loving, caring, I'm going to share what I have with you to help you feel better, but the energy around these two children is they're in poverty. Their clothes are tattered, and the neighborhood that they live in is falling down. So it makes me wonder if they contaminated first, if this was a deliberate contamination in areas where we know how they love to like destroy third world countries, where they don't have as much technology or the ability to fight things off. And it just makes me wonder if this was tested first in poverty-stricken areas, and if they contaminated the water by doing it. At the very top of this pathway, we have death. And so when we're talking about something like Morgellons, it looks to me as though the whole point of this was to create human suffering and inevitably death. because when you look at this death card, you know, people are suffering. The ugliness of the suffering is very visible. So that's the pathway. And then we look at the story around this, and we have the magician. And the magician has many tools, and he creates many things, right? So, and then above that, we have our Seven of Cups, which, depending on how I'm doing the reading and what the questions are, can mean several different things. It can mean reveals. It can mean dark magic and black magic. It can also mean like addictions and things like that. It depends on the reading, you guys. But when we have this magician mastering things, and then above that we have the, for me, like dark energy, negative energy, and then the surprise at the very top, like this is covered. So this is something that, like you said, there's not a lot of talk about or treatment for. It's like a bunch of nasty things went in to create this thing, but it's not talked about. It's hidden. They don't talk about it. They don't acknowledge it. They won't pull the cover off the cup to acknowledge what is actually taking place here. But it definitely looks to me as though it was a created thing with this magician, you guys. And across from that, we have the Tower card. This was a big moment in history, basically, because it literally will like crumble the foundation of the people that have it. I said I didn't want to compare it to Lyme, but Lyme is something that I'm very familiar with. So when I look at this and I know the story, I know a little bit of your story, what you've said, and how it's affecting your health, it makes sense that this would be like crumbling the foundation of your health, of your body. And then we come up and we've got that other kid card here with the Page of Cups. And so two children cups. It looks like it was possibly maybe even intended to infect these children, but more water. Always remember, all of these cups are water. And, you know, the magician also holds a cup. He holds everything, the pentacles, the swords, the rods, but he also holds a cup. And he does ground things from heaven into earth, right? So it would come way of the airways as well to ground it into the earth. You said it's found in the air, it's found in the food, it's found in people's homes. If you're looking at the magician, you're going to find it in the air. You're going to find it in the water. You're going to find it in the ground because you have the pentacles there. And yeah, that rod in people's bodies, as well as, you know, all these other things. So it looks like it was meant to affect, I would say it was meant to affect everyone and be passed on through the water, which would mean possibly the rain, the snow that comes via the air. So let me see if I'm getting an understanding of what they're relaying here. So the first thing I want to say is it looks like it was created and purposely done. And so can I get a card, a yes or a no? Were these Morgellons created? Because with the magician, that would lead me to believe it was created. It was created. And especially where they patented it. But it looks like this was something that was created. And can you just give me clarity on that, please, and thank you. Were these things that we call Morgellons created, deliberately created? With one card, a yes or no, please and thank you. Yes, they created it. It was, but this is the funny thing about with that 8 of rods. It was something that was created fast. It moved in fast. So it may have been even an accidental creation. Like they might have been working on something and then this is something that happened in accordance to that, because of that, through what they were doing. So I want to ask if I'm correct in how I'm reading that 8. It was created, it was moved, it was created fast. It came in fast. Via our atmosphere, definitely. To hit the rest of our world is basically what I'm seeing with that 8. So am I reading that correctly, please and thank you, with one card? Yes. Yes, I'm reading that correctly. So it was created and it happened quickly. Almost accidentally. So I just want, if we can understand, one of the things around health and wellness is understanding. We have to first understand what it is that we're dealing with, right? And then we can move forward. So can you give us another little bit of information, or just a downward conversation, maybe like 4 cards, and then I'll pick them all up. People worked together on this. All right, so you guys, this was something that people were working together on, so it was a joint effort. And, you know, the wish fulfillment that they had in mind when they were working on this project, you have the Judgment there, which is like a zombie card, you guys. It's like, it's almost like these guys are zombies, but then the heavens come in and it wakes them up, right? Because, I mean, they're literally climbing out of their coffins. You know what I'm saying? So, the wish, do you remember when they started talking about the zombie apocalypse? The wish was to kind of like create, with this creation, it looked like there was a wish to create almost like a dumbed down, zombified group of people. And part of it was successful, like part of what they were working on was successful, but part of it wasn't. So it creates an unsolid foundation in the body. It brings upon human suffering, and it's a bad thing, but it doesn't look like they got all of their wish. They wished that it would do a lot more harm by the looks of things. So am I reading that correctly? So the wish was that it would actually do more harm than it is. So part of what happened with this creation that was created was successful in bringing upon the human suffering and the sickness, but it wasn't completely successful in what they actually wanted. Is that correct? Please and thank you. With one card. Then I'm going to pick them all up. They had to walk away from it. It wasn't finished, you guys. They do want to talk a little bit more. So I'm going to pick all of these up. There was a wish for more to happen, but it was the project was walked away from. It was created quickly, a little faster than they expected. But it wasn't completed. It wasn't finished. So not everything came up to the surface that they wanted because it was walked away from. And we have more cups here. Let's keep that in mind. All of the cups that we're getting, because that's definitely part of what we need to know about this, right? We know that you can find them in everything right now, but the cups seem to be a very important piece of how this was spread, you guys. So it was walked away from. It wasn't finished. It wasn't finished. Go ahead and keep telling us what you want to say around that. Something got in the way, and then so this was created and then not finished. So what you're dealing with is not what you were meant to be dealing with, but it was unleashed anyway, is what I'm getting. And then their focus, then they started focusing on a different way moving forward, and that is that air. So what you're telling me is that they started the contamination process with the water, and then they moved on to figuring out how to move the contamination process via the air. Is that what you're saying? And the air became a bigger focus because that would affect the entire earth plane. Is that what you're saying? Yes. Yeah, so it started with the water, and then they walked away from doing the water, and then they started focusing on how they could get it to affect the entire earth plane, you guys, via the airways. And so what you're saying is, even though it wasn't, even though this was created quick and it wasn't quite what they had set out for it to do, they felt like it was successful enough in damaging people that they were happily trying to contaminate the world with this to create human suffering and sickness. Is that does that sum it up? And then I've got a whole bunch of questions. That sums it up. That sums it up. They figured out how they decided that they really needed to bring it via the air. The water wasn't enough. But it's not exactly what they had intended. So there was a much more nefarious effect that they were hoping for. I'm just going to get a sip of my coffee. So, is that correct? So what I'm gauging by this, and I may have already asked, I'm not sure, but what I'm gauging by what you've told me is that the wish had been for it to be a much more nefarious impact than it is, but they were still pleased with what these things can do, so went ahead and used this against the populations anyway. And it looks like they started in more poverty-stricken areas and moved out from there. Am I picking up what you're laying down, please and thank you? But the intention had been, they had hoped it would be even more nefarious than it is. Is that correct? Please and thank you. One more shuffle. Yeah, so there was more they wanted from it. They did want more from it. They wanted it to quickly, for one thing, they wanted it to move faster, right? And they wanted it to literally end people. Now, when you're talking about ending with this moon, that's a cutoff from your intuition if they want it. If they're doing nefarious things. The moon helps wake up your intuition. For me in this deck, this is what this means. And so if they wanted a little more from it than what they got, and they wanted it to move faster and affect more people, they wanted it to be able to cut off your intuition. So that zombie card makes perfect sense, right? When we're disconnected from God. So they wanted it to cut off your intuition. They wanted much more from it than they got, but they took what they could get. But that was the original tie. Now you've heard the story about, the jabs and how that's a battle for your DNA, and how that was meant to, or we hear the stories that it was meant to disconnect people from their God source and their light DNA. It looks like this was the first round of that trial, because we have what more did they want from it, what piece didn't happen because of it. And down beneath that you've got your devil card, right, where it would disconnect you from your intuition and your light. And they wanted this to happen very quickly with this Morgellons, you guys. That's what I'm getting, at least. Let's see if I'm reading this correctly to you, some clarification. And then I'm going to ask some stories. So now we know a little bit more about why this was created, okay? So am I reading this correctly, please and thank you. I'm seeing it correctly. This was their first shot at taking away people's connection with God. This was their first shot, and they didn't get what they wanted from that. But they did create human suffering, and so they're happy with that. And they did start the process with the water, and then they moved on to moving it via the air because they could more directly hit the whole earth plane doing that. So that's the story. So this was a nefarious, very nefarious plan to create basically zombies because they wanted to disconnect people from their God, source, energy, their light DNA, their connection to the divine. Bastards, huh? So we have some questions now, please and thank you. So they want to know if this is nanotechnology, if these little fibrous things that look like, that, you know, honestly, they remind me, when you're looking at the videos of them, you see these little fibers that look black, and then they're moving, you know. It's like the little worms, the little tiny microscopic worms or whatever. They remind me of parasites, but they're black, like fiber, which is interesting. So what she wants to know is this nanotechnology what here on the earth plane we call nanotechnology, please and thank you. With one card, can you give us a yes or no? You know, we don't know, guys. It could be more complicated than just that. So let's just see what we get for cards here. So is this nanotechnology that these Morgellons, are they nanotechnology? We'll pull from the middle one card, please and thank you. They're saying, hold on. I knew it was, I had a feeling it was going to be more complicated than a yes or no question. So let me go ahead and give it a couple more shuffles and let them talk to us. I have other questions, you guys, too. Like, is it nanotechnology? Are they mites? Are they fungus, parasites, bacteria, all of that stuff? But this is where we started, right? Is this nanotechnology. So let's get a story. We'll talk downward from that. We'll have a little conversation here. We're getting that water card again, you guys. Hold on. Hold on, they said. And then they're giving us the water cup. The water, and then the earth, and then more water. Celebration. Okay, so this is something that's found. Is this something that can be found and then built upon? Did this originate? Is this some sort of was this something that was already here in the water and in the ground? Because we've got ground, water, water, okay? And they're telling us to hang on, you guys, as I'm asking if this is So are you guys saying that this was something, I realize that it was then created or whatever, but did these Morgellons originate, maybe not what they are right now, but the source of what they were playing with to create these Morgellons? Was this something that was already found naturally here on the earth plane, in our water and in our soil? Please and thank you. One more shuffle, please and thank you, with one card. Okay, so this was something that was already found here on the earth plane, and I was wondering this, and I was going to ask this second. What I'm getting here is this is something that was already here naturally, something that was already naturally occurring here on the earth plane, in the soil and in the water, in poverty-stricken areas of like poverty and heavy pollution. Is that what you're saying, that it originated? What they took to create what we have now started in areas that were poverty-stricken, maybe heavily polluted, and it was already found in the soil and in the water in those areas. Is that correct? So is that correct, you guys? Please and thank you. Yes. All right, you guys, so listen. So Morgellons were created, but the source from which they started messing with something to create what we're dealing with now, which are what we call the Morgellons, originated, were already here. Whatever they took to begin this journey creating these Morgellons was already here on the earth plane. And it was prominent in the water and in the soil of poverty-stricken, heavily polluted areas. Okay? So that's going to lead me into the next question is, because we want to know, is this a fungus? So fungus, parasite, mite, or bacteria? So let's take a look. So before they messed with, so whatever this was that they took from the soil and from the ground and started messing with, well, first, let's just, this is like this is like, to me, you know, a black project. This is like a biolab weaponization, right? This was weaponized against humanity. So I just want to clarify on that, because that's what we've gotten. We've got that, yes, it was created, and it created fast, and they didn't get exactly what they wanted from it, but they were quite happy with the human suffering that did come from it. And that they took something that we had here naturally, and then they messed with it to create something else. So this is like, you know, a bioweapon against humanity type of thing. Just like that, what they did, you know, what they do with all these other damn bioweapons. So Is that what I'm getting? So this was something that they took that we already had, and then they made it more dangerous. They made it worse than it was originally. They weaponized it. Is that correct? Please and thank you. They did. They weaponized it. But they didn't get all the results that they wanted. And it's they keep telling us that. So that's very important to remember. It wasn't what they wanted it to be. And I believe that's because God always has our back. It was held back. Yeah. The amount of damage that it can do was severely held back. They had wished for more damage, but the amount that it can do is severely held back. They didn't get exactly what they wanted from it, but it was weaponized. And it came from our soil and our water in polluted areas, very poverty-stricken, polluted areas naturally. And they built it up from there. But with that 9, it's also kind of telling me that no matter what they did, they wouldn't have been able to build it more. Like their hope for it wasn't just that they had to walk away from the plan. It was just that they couldn't create what it is that they... Boy, I get the whole top of my head is my guides are all over my crown right now. They weren't able... No matter what their plans were, you guys... For whatever the reason, they could not weaponize this to the extent that they originally wanted to. So the work with it had to be finished because there was nothing else that they could come up with to make it the way that they wanted it. If that's making sense to you guys, right? So like, there's only so much you can do with some things, and that's kind of where we're at with these Morgellons. So, So my question is, so we know that they weaponized something. So was what they weaponized, what they found in the soil and the ground, was that a parasite? Please and thank you. So did they weaponize a parasite? Something that was already here naturally in the soil and in the water. Was it a parasite that they used to weaponize? Please and thank you. They want us to hold on. So it's not parasitical. It's not nanotechnology. All right, well, this is interesting. So hold on. So they're not telling us parasite, and they're not telling us nanotech. But they're saying, but we do have the swords, you guys, and more water, obviously. And swords is vibrational. It's air, it's vibration, it's technology. It's technology. And you'll notice with both of these cards, there is water in both of these cards. So there's a lot to do with the water. And then we have justice here, right? Justice, but that's an 11. That's something new. 11s are new. They're higher perspective. Think balancing the scales. Think from a higher perspective, and they were just all over my crown. Okay. So if I'm to think from a higher perspective and I'm to unbind my eyes and my gut is telling me something off-world or otherworldly, or what we would call otherworldly. I mean, I'm not here to get into a debate about flat Earth and, you know, planets or not planets or solar system, you know, that's not what we're here for. But so no matter what your belief system is, whether it would have been from out of, you know, off of the Earth plane or from beyond the ice wall, no matter how you look at it, something otherworldly mixed with something that was already here on the earth plane, found naturally in our water and our soil. Technology from like what we would call, what would we call it here? We would call it alien technology from other worlds or beyond the ice wall, or you guys, my guides know what the hell I'm talking about. They understand what I mean by this. So you're saying it's something that was, it's two things. It's something that we had here naturally occurring, but it was something mixed with something from off planet or from beyond the ice wall. Technology, not, is that what you're saying? Something from off planet or beyond the ice wall was mixed with this something or other that we already have here, naturally occurring on the earth plane, in the water and the soil. Am I getting close? Because you're telling me to think from a higher perspective, so that's where my mind went. So, is that, just give me some clarification. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. Eight. So part of what I'm on to something, but I'm missing something. You guys, we're on to something, but we're missing something. All right. So I'm just going to ask you guys then. So I'm getting quite a lot of this right, you guys, but we're missing something. All right. So I'm getting there, and we've gotten a lot of this correct, but we're missing something. There's a piece missing, and they're trying to get it through my head right now, and I'm trying to comprehend, and I'm nearly an hour in already. So I'm going to do this in two parts, you guys, because this is important. We need to know the true story behind, because if we don't know the true story, we can't even begin to treat something. If we don't understand it, you know what I mean? So, think from a higher perspective. And so I'm thinking off-world, just to make the verbiage easier for me, mixed with what we have on-world. And I'm missing a piece. So would the other piece be on-world, off-world, and then something that our... give me a hint on what the hell it is that I'm missing. Please and thank you. Let's just do another conversation. Just give me a hint. Something of what I'm missing. I know you're saying think from a higher perspective, but you got to remember, there's the contrast that I need, you know, so I need to be able to comprehend, you know, what the hell you're trying to say here. So, I'm thinking off-world, just because that makes it an easier way to say it for me. Off-world, on-world, combination of things that they merged together scientifically to create these Morgellons. correct? Before you give me the rest of the story, is that correct? Yes. Yes. So for my verbiage, to make it easier, on-world, off-world, things coming together that they merged. But I'm missing something else that they merged together. So now give me the story. They started something brand new. This is a whole, so what you have right now, you guys, they started something brand new, birthed something completely different than is anywhere else. So with what they did, they took things that were pre-existing from different worlds, let's call it, to create this, to birth this into our earth plane. And it was done very nefariously, which they keep showing us. And they knew that would create some massive change, or they had hoped that it would create massive change. Okay, so we can't really call it a parasite. We can't really, can we treat it though? Okay, so now I understand. We can't really call it parasitical. We can't really call it nanotechnology. We really can't call it any of the names of the questions that we might have here, because it's something that was created that is brand new, right? It's not what we would consider any of these things, is what my guides are trying to get through my head. So am I picking up what you're laying down there? It's like we can't really call it any of these things because it's all different things that came together to merge it. And so it's something brand new that was birthed here on the earth plane by these nefarious pricks. So we don't actually have the contrast to give it a proper name to say what it is. Am I getting that correctly? Am I getting that correct? Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Yes, I'm getting it correct. So we can't really say it's a parasite or it's a mite or it's a fungus or it's bacteria, because it started from different sources. So they took something that we already had here on the earth plane in areas that were poverty stricken and heavily polluted. And then they took something, for easy communication's sake, we're going to say from off-world. Off-world, we don't have contrast for what that was that they took from off-world. So, but it's things that they brought together from here and other places, no matter how you want to look at it, beyond the ice wall or off-world. I don't care how you look at it. But from here and other like alien places to us here. And they merged things together to create this nanotechnology. So it's no point in us asking any further what it is. Is it of this or is it of that? We understand the story and why it was created. It was one of their first attempts at creating a bunch of disconnected people from God and creating zombies out of us. They moved it through the water, and then they moved it through the water and tested people. And then they just decided to move forward, putting it in the air to get it everywhere all over the earth plane. This is how this came about. But rather than asking what it is, we know now that we don't really have the right words or contrast, because part of it is totally alien to us, okay? And that's why they're telling us to hold on when I asked if it's nanotechnology or if it's a parasite, because we don't have the right words for it. But what we can do, this is going to be a long one. I want to get some of this answered right now, though. I don't want to get off right now. It's going to be a long video. you know, people can watch it in increments or whatever. The longest I want to go is maybe an hour and a half, and then I might have to do another video, you guys, just because of how long it takes for these things to go up. But, so what we can do now is we can ask, though. We can ask if there's a treatment for parasite cleanses, like a parasitical cleanse, that can it be treated like a parasite to rid it from the body? So could a person benefit and get healing benefits from doing parasite cleanses? Please and thank you. One card. Can a person benefit health-wise in treating this through doing really good parasite cleanses and parasite treatments? Please and thank you. One card. Absolutely. Absolutely go about the business of doing parasite cleanses and parasite treatments. That is something that can highly benefit you. Now, let me ask this, because I think if it were that simple all on its own, all the people that are suffering would have figured this out, right? Already. So you definitely need to do, according to what I'm getting, I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving medical advice, I'm just saying what the cards are saying. When I asked if you could benefit from doing parasite cleanses and parasite treatments, you got that high priestess. So that's a definite yes. That will help balance things out in the body. But also, don't forget, the high priestess holds a very, very high vibration. So I would say there's something within the parasite treatments that would affect this Morgellons vibrationally. So it might stop them from being so abundant, or from being able to, like, do whatever the hell it is that they're doing. But the other thing is, with the high priestess, you guys, the high priestess holds a very, very, very high vibration. So would it benefit, as you say, it would benefit for people to do parasite cleanses and a parasite treatment? Would it benefit for people to do vibrational healing? You know, to work on themselves vibrationally, hands-on healing, listening to frequencies, doing any type of vibrational healing that there is. Well, would that also be of benefit to their healing process? One card, please and thank you. King of Pentacles. So that would be my yes. Do as much vibrational healing as you possibly can. You've got healing centers in your own hands. Activate them. Get them activated. And start using the intention of universal life force energy, that which Creator, you know, created us all from and is all around us. Use that intention of pulling light and healing, and do this to yourself daily, all the time. Also seek out the frequency healings, and things like that, you guys. Add vibration to your parasite treatment. So now we know from that beginning of the story that they used many things, right? And we're understanding that a lot of it is off of our ability to understand what it actually is, because it's from off-world. We don't have the contrast. We don't understand. We don't have an understanding of these other things that were brought in and used, because they've kept us ignorant as to what's really going on with the world, right? But definitely you want to use some vibrational healing, the power of intention, do your self-healing, activate those hands, and use that intention to bring your vibration up. So start pulling light, as much of it as you can, to bring up your vibration. Do these parasite cleanses and parasite treatments. Now, she's got some, like, are they mites, are they fungus, are they parasites, and are they bacteria? We know that we can't give it a word, but we want to know if treatments for these types of things would be beneficial. So if she were to incorporate like she has them in her head, terribly bad. Isn't it weird that it's the head that's infested? Is so strange. Well, and of course the head, the crown, you guys, that's your connection. It's your third eye and your crown. The connection starts at the heart and works its way up to, to source. So, this is just terrible. But I feel like I've heard people say have them all through their body. So, would antibiotics or antibacterial treatments be beneficial in getting rid of these Morgellons, in treating these Morgellons? Would, in conjunction with the parasite cleanses and treatments and vibrational healing, would antibiotics be beneficial in treating these Morgellons? With one card, please and thank you. Would there be a good antibiotic that would somehow benefit them in treatment for these Morgellons? Please and thank you. An antibiotic. It's saying an antibiotic would be helpful. That's a higher arcana card. That's also moving forward. It's going to have to be a really good antibiotic, you guys, because this is a 7. So 7 is like very spiritual. So in conjunction with this reading, I would say something very powerful, a powerful antibiotic. So an antibiotic would help throw these things off balance. It would bind their vibration. Am I reading this correctly? We have gotten a lot of vibration in the gaining of knowledge that we're trying to accomplish here today. So a really strong antibiotic along with a really good anti-parasitical and the self-healing, which is vibrating. So maybe pulling up your vibration also, you would be vibrating too high for these things for you to make a good host. Does that make sense? So anti-parasite treatment, parasite treatment and cleanse. Do your frequency work. Also with this King of Pentacles, he's all about the green, you guys. So eat healthy. Try to make sure your food is clean. Something with make good herbs, like really pump your body full of nutrients, the best that you can. I know you said it's in the food, but this is, you know, with the king, it's always like health, health, health. Health and wellness through herbs and good food. So make sure that your diet, like I would not be incorporating garbage into your diet. Not with this King of Pentacles. You're going to want to have good herbs, supplements, probably minerals, healthy food. And you're going to want to do the frequency because that was a yes to that. Again, the High Priestess, all about very high frequency, okay? And yes, parasite cleanses. If you wanted to incorporate an antibiotic, it would need to be a good strong antibiotic. Something about it would throw them off kilter. You want to bind their vibration so that you can break these chains. So it's going to take a bunch of things. So let me just tell you what I've done with my Lyme problem over the years. I do frequency healing constantly. I want to keep my vibration up and I want to be as healthy as I possibly can. So I also have like supplements and herbs and minerals, and I eat healthy and I take the best care of myself that I possibly can. Because if my body is healthy, these little bastards will go into hibernation, right? And then I'm not so affected by it. And I do believe, you know, eventually there's going to be a cure for this, but it just is what it is. So they're telling you much the same as what I have to do. They really want you to work on your physical health. So vibration helps bring your physical health into, you're just going to feel better all over. And healthy eating and healthy food and your parasite cleanse. And possible antibiotics, but they'd have to be a strong antibiotic with that 7. It would affect, all of these things can come together to affect the vibration of these Morgellons. Is that what I'm hearing? Please and thank you. Am I picking up, am I picking up on it? And am I picking up on what you're saying here? Please and thank you. I'm picking up on a lot of what they're saying here, but we're still missing some stuff. So I'm working on something right now. I've given you a lot of good information, but I'm still working on something, and the question was about the antibiotic. And of course, you know, with the antibiotics, then you would always have to incorporate like good bacteria, right? If you're on anything like that for a long period of time. So working on something with this antibiotic. So I'm not quite, we're kind of getting it, but we're not quite getting it around the antibiotic. So how about like, I'm pulling these all up so we can move forward here. What about antibacterial treatments? So not necessarily an antibiotic, but antibacterial treatments. Because you don't necessarily have to take an antibiotic to receive benefits of antibacterial treatments. So is that what we're looking more at, like antibacterial treatments? that would kind of mess with the vibration of these Morgellons. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. Antibacterials could, if I'm reading this correctly, antibacterial things could actually help, like, kill them. Let's see. So we have the 10, finishing something off. And then we have, that's the swords, right? And so then we have the Page of Swords, awakening something. So finishing something off, but awakening something else. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that you would want to be very careful if you used an antibacterial or antibiotics. Because there's something in that could actually transform these things into something new. Like, it feels like you could use certain things, but you'd have to really have somebody that know what the hell they were doing. Because if you didn't get the exact right type of, like, an antibacterial or an antibiotic, whatever it is that they're trying to say, could actually make things worse by, like, it might destroy something vibrationally with these Morgellons, but then it could also, like, make something new pop up from them, and they could become stronger. Did I just read that correctly? Good Lord. I hope I read that wrong, but it's good to know if I read it correctly. Did I read that correctly, please and thank you? Getting most of it, but not all of it. Well, I did have a thought, though, you guys. So I realized that I'm getting most of it, but not all of it. I haven't finished the story yet. I gotta think higher. 1 foot on the earth, 1 foot in the ground, higher perspective. Do they need lots? Because we've got that green card with the king. Not so much an antibacterial, but they need good bacteria in their body. These people that are suffering with Morgellons, are they, because we get the green card, are they deficient? Are they very deficient in minerals and good for you bacteria? And is this why it's so hard for them? Do they have mineral and bacterial deficiencies? Please and thank you. So do they actually need good bacteria in their bodies? Like, do they need good bacteria? Probiotics, prebiotics, and minerals to help them heal from this. Please and thank you. Because that is where my brain was going. Gotta think higher. So they actually need more of that stuff. They don't want to do an antibacterial. They want to bump up their good bacteria. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Healthy foods, minerals, good bacteria, herbs, really, and you know, pull in light and frequency, you guys. Very important for you. And parasitical cleanses and treatments. So you guys really need good minerals. You're deficient, so you need minerals and bacteria, good probiotic, pre and pro, good ones, and minerals and herbs and good healthy food from that green card, okay? You absolutely need to get that body up there. You're deficient. And parasite cleanses and treatments and frequency. Okay, so could they also benefit from light therapy? Could they also benefit from light therapy, please and thank you? Have you folks heard of selenite? So selenite's very high frequency crystal. Very high frequency crystal. It looks really pretty with the sun hitting it, doesn't it? But it is sort of translucent. And you see that I put it on my cards. I have it all through my house. It's in every room. I sleep with it. It's under my pillow. It's very cleansing. It's good for headaches. It's good for a lot of things. Good for pain. But it's very cleansing. It's very purifying. It's in vibrational alignment with those higher realms, your guides and source. And if I were you personally, I would be grabbing some selenite. It doesn't cost much at your crystal shop. I'd be putting it in your pillow. You said your head is infested with it. This is talking about vibration. This is a very high vibrational crystal. Also, amethyst is very high vibrational, but I would go straight to the selenite. Selenite, amethyst, apophyllite. I'd have those things gridded in my bed and on my pillow, in my pillowcase. It can't hurt, right? It can't hurt. And they're very high vibration. The nice thing about this too, the selenite, you put your apophyllite and your amethyst in with this in your pillowcase, and you've got a hell of a lot of high vibration right there while you sleep, while your body naturally tries to heal itself during rest. So yeah, incorporate crystals. Don't forget about crystals in the vibrational healing as well. Positive affirmations, that's a vibration. Your words, your thoughts, the things that you think, the way that you speak, that's a vibration. So, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to say that. All right, so, is there a cure for this? Is there a cure out here for this yet that is available to the people? Is there a cure that maybe people are talking about somewhere, but necessarily I personally, or the person that's asking these questions, haven't heard of yet? But is there some source where we could find a cure for these Morgellons? Is there a cure that we would be able to find available to us? Is there a cure? Please and thank you. That we would be able to find, because I believe there's a cure for every disease on this planet, that there's a cure, but whether we're available to it. All right, so there's stuff that's available to help with this. It's in the shadows, though. The people that created this have the ability to not be affected by it, but it hasn't been brought to us yet. That means there is a cure available. It's just hasn't been exposed to us yet. It's in the shadows with the people that created this. So did I just read that card correctly? Please and thank you. Yes, I read it to you correctly, but once it's going to come to us sooner than you might think. So this is a fast moving card. So it's saying there is a cure. It's not available to us right now, not to us, the regular populace, right? But that it will be coming. So did I just deliver that message correctly? But that it will be coming sooner than we might think. Did I just read that correctly? Yeah. And it looks to me like there might be something hidden, but it looks like people are actually working on this together. So even though that's hidden, people are working to bring in a cure for this right now as we speak, you guys. So this is being worked on. And if it's being worked on by good people, you'd want that more than whatever these bastards have hidden anyways. So, yeah, you definitely got to take care of your body. Minerals, good bacteria, pre and probiotics, parasitical cleanses and treatments, good for you food, lift your vibration, vibrational healing, pull as much light as you possibly can. What she wants to know, and it's very important, I think, she wants to know, is this contagious? Because she wants to know if it's contagious. It did show a sharing, but that was the water card. So, is this contagious? Like, well, let's just see what they say with that one card. Is this a contagious? Are Morgellons contagious? Ugh, it's a bad shuffle. Didn't get them in there too good together. Are Morgellons contagious? Well, with this card, I would say not to everybody, because there's a surprise. So that's a 7. Let's let them talk just a little bit. It doesn't affect everybody, you guys. It will not affect everybody. So it's not so much a contagion thing as it doesn't affect everybody. Some people are affected, some people aren't. Some people, what affects some doesn't others. What affects some doesn't others. With this frequency card, it's your body's frequency. I'd be curious to know it's something to do with your frequency. It's something to do with your overall health. You know what I mean? It seems to me that some people are just susceptible to these and others not so much. And it may have to do with the overall health of the body. What we have in us, what we're lacking. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to clarify. So it's not so much a contagious thing by what I'm understanding here via these cards. It's that some people are affected by this and some people aren't. And it all has to do with the health of the body. Is that correct? Yeah, it's not so much a contagious thing, according to what I'm getting, you guys. It's more of something that makes you more susceptible to it because of the health of your body. And again, you know, these are vibrations, and our food, our minerals, everything that we take in is a vibration, right? So if you're lacking something specifically, then the body, which requires these things, is lacking that particular vibration. And this is what's making you more susceptible to it, according to what I'm getting. Again, this is just what I'm getting. But the nutrients of the body is very, very important. Now, one thing that I understand, because of health issues that I've dealt with, is many of us have like an absorption issue as well. So if you're being told that you need to bump up on your minerals and your herbs and healthy food and whatnot, you're going to want to treat your gut, because your gut is where you break down that food and where the whole absorption process begins. So if your gut isn't healthy, then you can't absorb the nutrients that you're putting in. So it wouldn't do you any good to bump up on all of this stuff unless you're also treating your gut. So should these people that are battling the Morgellons be, because pro and prebiotics are very good for your gut, but I'm also wondering if it's saying you're deficient in something, would you also be having an absorption problem? Would it benefit them to do like a yeast cleanse? Because yeast can stop you from being able to absorb your nutrients. A yeast cleanse and a gut health protocol. And you know, that is a fungus, right? That is a fungus, yeast and leaky gut and all of those things that can stop you from absorbing. Would it be beneficial for people with Morgellons to do a gut health protocol, possible like yeast and fungus cleanse, which is a big portion of like gut health? Please and thank you. Would that benefit them as far as getting their body to a place where they can really treat these Morgellons? Please and thank you. One more shuffle. Getting their body to a particular place. Would it benefit them to do like a gut health protocol so that they can absorb these things that they seem to be maybe be deficient in? Please and thank you. Hold on, they're saying there's more to that. Okay, so hold on. It's not just gut health. There's this transformation with the water, the cups. I imagine that they're very careful with where they're getting their water. Are you given a warning about the water they drink? Like, don't drink the tap water. Get a purifying system to maybe cleanse their tap water. Be very careful with the water they're drinking. Is that what you're saying? Is this a warning with the water too? To be very, very careful about, you know, making sure that they're not drinking water that could have harmful things in it. Moving out of troubled water. More water, you guys. Oh. They want you to like, they're saying put healing and frequency into your water. Frequency healing in the water. Is that what you're saying? Frequency healing in the water. Healing water. Is that correct? So give your water healing. Make sure that your water is clean. Don't be drinking nasty water. But be putting some frequency healing in your water. Put a pitcher of water in the refrigerator with some selenite around it and some amethyst around it too. That will help put frequency in it. As well as like the frequency of your own hands. Maybe play some frequencies into it. And always stick your finger in there so that your water can adapt to you and what you need. So is that good information? Have I given the information good? Frequency in the water can really do a lot to create victories and break new ground in this treatment for you folks. Frequency, water. Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. Can really be groundbreaking for helping you. Yeah, frequency in the water can really transform things, you guys. Frequencies in your water can actually be like life-changing and bring something totally new in, almost like a medicine, a treatment that can totally transform things. So vibrational treatment in your water, they want you to know, can go a long way. I know this is a lot, but like I said, you can do a lot of the frequency to your own water yourself, right? Okay, so high frequency, good clean water, probiotics, prebiotics, your minerals, your supplements, good clean food, good parasite cleanses, and treatments. So I asked about gut health, and we kind of went off onto a different subject. So I am assuming that people's gut health could also benefit from drinking high frequency water. And all of us can make our own high frequency water at home. We don't have to be rich to start working on how to get high frequency into our water. So here's a few ways I'm going to share with you. This is going on very long. It's 1 hour and 38 minutes. After I share this with you, I'm going to end this video and I'm going to come on and I'm going to finish the rest of the information in a second video. So I personally have tap water. I live in the country. I do not have city water. I have tap water. My water is good. It's not gunky water. So if you need a filter system or whatever on your water, if you're living in the city, you don't really want city water. And if your country water is not good, you need something for that, obviously. But get your water from a clean source, right? Purified water doesn't have any minerals in it, so that's not going to be of any help at all. But if that's what you have to get, then that's what you've got to get, right? But get your good water and then put it in a nice big glass jar, okay? Put it in a big glass jar. Set it in the sun for 3 hours. Go out and say a prayer over your water every 3 hours. Activate your hands, touch that glass, put your intentions into that water and say a prayer and give the intentions to the water from what it is that you're asking, source, and your team and your highest self to create out of this water. Okay, bring that water in while you've got it out in the sun. Like I put mine on a big platter and I put crystals all around the outside of the jug. And you know, I use a lot of those very high frequency crystals: selenite, amethyst, apophyllite, smoky quartz, which is an amazing crystal. But use your intuition to find the crystals that you are looking for. I always use rose quartz too because of the love vibration that comes with that. And I line that right around my jug, okay? So that it's touching the glass. Those frequencies are going into the glass. And the water is in the glass. And it's receiving the energy of the sun. The sun is amplifying things, heating up those crystals, which are amplifying things. I put my intentions in, you know, I give it the love, you know, put my own healing into it. And, you know, do that for at least 3 hours in the sun. And then, you know, get on YouTube and find frequencies and literally play the frequencies right beside your jug of water. The healing frequencies, you know, the hertz frequencies and things like that. Play that frequency. Draw a choku rei symbol on your jug and say choku rei, choku rei, choku rei 3 times. 3 times gives everything energy. The energy amplifies. It gives it power. Yeah, so start creating some of your own high frequency water. You know, if you have some herbs that you're growing yourself and you want to put that in your water, do that. Add that to your water. Do the things to create your own healing water, okay? But put the light in the body by creating this high frequency water. And then make sure that you're getting minerals and supplements and good healthy food. Your body needs to be very healthy because it seems as though by what we're learning here that you're deficient in something. So we want to bring your vibration and your healing back up with the things that you're missing. So, you know, for instance, when I put anything into my body, I touch everything. I heal everything in my house and everything I make and everything I drink. So my intention is that all the good stuff that I need, that my body requires and needs, come to me via whatever it is that I'm ingesting. And that anything that I don't need and that would not benefit my body's highest and greatest good will immediately be flushed out. And that's always my intention. So maybe that will help you guys. I would throw some crystals in the pillow. I would grid my bed with crystals. All of these things to consistently be healing my body and getting my body at a place where it's not so susceptible to this stuff. Because it seems as though what we're getting here, you guys, is that some people are more susceptible to this than others. Okay? It's just what I'm getting. Take from it what you will, but this is what I am getting. Now, this is long. I'm going to get it uploaded. I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to come back with a whole bunch of other questions as for you as far as these Morgellons go. And I hope that you find in some value in this, and I'm sorry that we're not you know, getting that there is a cure available right now. But it does look like good people are working on this to bring a cure in for these Morgellons. And they're trying to do it fast, is what I'm getting at least. All right, you guys, I love you all very much. You know, stay high vibing, stay in the love vibration. And this is what we've gotten so far. And I'll be back with more. I'll see you all very soonish. I love you. I'll see you soon. Soon, like, I'm going to continue on with this reading after my break. So this will go up in 2 parts. This one, obviously, just super long. Sorry about that. And then the next one, we'll see how long that goes. But this is important, so let's try to be as thorough as we possibly can. All right. I'll see you soonish. Bye.